computer.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the Transgender Coalition. This is episode 155. I'm just guessing. Okay, got you. So tonight I am going to bring on my lovely co-host, my lead admin, Miss Angel Simone, Tronco. Make sure I put that in there because Mario will kill me if I don't mention his last name. So anyways,
well, I don't know that I've tacked on his last name.
So tonight we are going to talk about all things makeup with Angel. Angel is a makeup artist. She is very skilled by trade, and she's very skilled and stuff. So I'm going to do a little interview with her. If you all have questions for her, please, by all means, raise your hand. We will call on you. And then after I'm done interviewing her and you guys have questions, she is going to go ahead and start the procedure and the demonstration on how to put your makeup on. Now, she is going to go slow enough for you guys if you're not used to doing fast. We're going to basically do an everyday look, as I think that's what we talked about, right?
Yeah, we're going to do an everyday look, but at the end of that everyday look, I will show you how to transition from an everyday look to a night look. We're going out and going to go have some fun with the girls or whatever.
Right. Sleepovers, etc., etc., etc. So with that being said, and then so you could all follow along. If Angel is going too fast for you, please just, hey, Angel, can you slow down or can you show me how to do this again? We've got 3 hours. You don't have to, Angel's not going to feel rushed. She's not going to go fast. You guys, I'm going to give her the whole 3 hours to do this. So it's going to be all you. This is our self-help Thursday. So this is going to help. This is going to be some self-help for you. So we're going to get started here.
So with getting started, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background.
Please do.
On my makeup abilities and skill level. So, I mean, I've experimented just like a lot of people with makeup since my early childhood, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just was playing in it and just having fun. It wasn't until I was about 18 years old when I was still presenting as a gay male, and I got involved with the drag queen community, started performing in shows, and little by little picked up a lot of tips and tricks to really feminize the face and hide and obscure the masculine features that we clearly don't want. And then in 2006, I moved to California and of course continued my drag career there. And while living there in 2008, I attended the Academy of Makeup and Fashion in Encino, California, where I became a licensed professional makeup artist. And a lot of the skills that were taught in the class were pretty much everything I already knew from the drag community, but now I've just been validated and licensed in film, photography, print, television, weddings, all that kind of stuff for glamour and beauty types of makeup. And I have been still doing it ever since. And with all that background and knowledge as I transition, it's helped me so that I can be better equipped to present as female and feel more comfortable out and about. And even at the beginning stages of my transition, be more confident that I'm not going to get clocked. So that's where I've pretty much come from in my makeup career.
Okay.
And also pretty much in a nutshell how I like to help people.
Now, okay, so I'm gonna start my interview with Angel right now, and then you guys got some questions, and then after the question session, we will go ahead and turn it over to her to start the makeup, to start with a demonstration. Now, did you ever work professionally in a makeup shop type of thing, like a beauty parlor or something?
Sort of, kind of.
Okay,
Um, when I was going to school in California for makeup, I was working in Whole Foods Market in California. I worked in the whole body department, which deals with vitamins, supplements, nutrition, body care, skincare, and cosmetics. So, of course, the makeup that we sold there was all kind of natural and mineral cosmetics. So, as a professional makeup artist, I would actually sell that stuff and legally apply it to someone's skin to demonstrate it. And even after I moved back to Texas and transferred to the Whole Foods Market in Dallas and into the same department, again, I was able to do that by trade because I was legally allowed to touch people's skin. And many a times, whenever the store was having special events, they knew that I was licensed as a makeup artist, so they knew that I was quite capable of bringing in my makeup chair and setting it up and actually working on people. Being a professional makeup artist, I did also run my own business for a while on the side. While I was living in California, I had my own website going, business cards, banners, business cards, you name it. I did work on people professionally, paid. While living in California, there were a couple times I was actually hired as a backstage makeup artist for a couple independent short films.
okay, very good. Now, how long did you basically work in the makeup? Now, I know you still do makeup. Now, I know that there's different types of makeup and different type of brands and stuff like that. But before I get to that part of it, the question is there a difference between drag makeup versus women's makeup or everyday look? Is there a big significant difference, and what is that significant difference?
There is. For cisgender women, there's not a whole lot that they need to do in their makeup routine every day. It's very simple. You've got your foundation, your powder, your blush, your eyeshadow, your eyeliner, your mascara, boom, you're done. But, trending in cosmetics is all that highlighting and contouring right now. And it's been trending for quite some time, actually. But that's going to be the key difference between just the way that cisgender makeup is and the way that a drag queen would do their makeup. Because the drag queens, they're going to do their makeup very harsh. They're going to do it very severe to really cut and define those features out, to make them very obvious. And for drag queens, that's typically a nighttime look specifically. But when we transfer that into the transgender female community, we still want to use those same kind of techniques the drag queens use. We just want to tone them down so that they don't look like drag queens. We want to look like women.
Okay. Now, what is the difference? Now, I've always heard this. I've heard of contouring. What is contouring? You even talk about contour. Is there, and I know there's different shades of contour, but now what is contouring used for? Excuse me.
Contouring is basically, it's a very dark colored foundation, whether in powder form or cream form, doesn't really make a difference. It's just a very dark foundation to create a shadow and it's the same thing with highlighting. Highlighting would be the very light colored foundation, and utilizing the balance between the dark and the light to really cut and chisel out the shape of your face that you really want, as opposed to what you have.
Okay. Good. Now, is contour more like is that for like shrinking your nose, making it
It
look
can be.
small? Okay.
It can be. I mean, there's contour and highlight both are used on various different parts of the face, depending on like what you're wanting to reshape. It's almost like giving yourself a trial run at facial feminization surgery at what you could look like before you actually choose to do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. I got that. All right. Anybody got any questions before I let Angel do her magic? Okay. Angel, I think I've asked enough questions here. I know the girls are getting anxious to get started, for you to get started. So ladies, if you're ready to follow Angel, she's gonna start. Angel, the show is all yours. Take it away, honey.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and start with is skincare. Skincare is very, very, very essential, very important. Because it's going to help to create a base and a foundation for all the makeup that you're going to put on your skin. And that's very essential because makeup, I don't care what kind of makeup you buy. I don't care, even if you use the cleanest, most natural type of cosmetics out there, they're still going to dry your skin out. So it's very important to have a really good skincare regimen in place. I've got actually a few skincare products that I brought in here that I'm going to go ahead and apply to my skin. I've got some witch hazel here. This is actually a very good natural toner, which will help to tone and tighten the pores. It also temporarily pores and allows all the nutrients from your other skincare products to seep deep down into the skin. And I'm just mixing this also with some apple cider vinegar, also a natural astringent. And that just gets applied all over. And you want to apply it around basically from the hairline all the way down to your neck. Once you got that on, then you got your serums. Serums are your treatment. Things like vitamin A, which is good for cell turnover, rejuvenation, anti-aging, things like that. You've got hyaluronic acid serums that are very good for hydration. Vitamin C is very good for pumping up the skin. Very, very, very good antioxidant. Vitamin D, we get that naturally from the sun, but they do make serums in that. There's all kinds of serums out there. You just want to make sure that you're using them. And then, of course, moisturizer, day cream, night cream, and eye creams for people that have fine lines, wrinkles, puffiness. I don't personally use an eye cream very often, but if you have a need for it, then by all means, yes. Okay. Once you've got your product in there, work in your skin is nice, soft, supple, plump, then we can actually get into the makeup.
Now, before you start, Angel, I just want to say a couple things.
Sure.
Now, moisturizing is very important. Makeup is going to dry your skin out.
Make it
And
look more aged.
exactly. So moisturizing in the morning and at night is very essential to skincare, because, you know, when you're doing makeup and stuff, and Angel will tell you, this is, your skin is a palette. So the makeup is going to get in your pores. And I like using a deep cleansing moisturizer, because I also, at the time, I'm cleaning out my pores while I'm at it.
Yeah, because I do a daily, I do a scrub, cleanser, toner, serum, day cream.
Right. So basically you do want to moisturize. That's very important before you do any makeup. Thank you, Angel. Go ahead and finish.
Yep. Okay. So once I've got all that done, then I just go ahead and put my primer on. And that's going to help to make the makeup wear better. And there's a lot of different primers out there. There's more oily ones, there's more creamy ones. There's ones for dry skin, for tone correcting, color correcting, you name it. The one that I'm using at the moment right now is the Maybelline Prime pore minimizing blur primer, which looks like this right here. For my skin, I like those oily primers. They seem to help set my skin and prepare my skin for all the makeup a lot better than some of those creamy primers that just look like a regular lotion. Those kinds, me personally, I would just sweat right through them. So I like the oily ones better.
Now I use a poreless putty primer. Elf makes a fantastic primer. I love it. It goes on very smooth. I'm a brush girl, but I put that on with the applicator with the egg.
Yeah.
So, okay, Angel, sorry, go ahead.
No problem, honey. So once I've done that, usually my next step, and this doesn't have to be your next step, it's just my next step. I usually do my eyebrows because I pluck my eyebrows personally so thin, and then I just draw them on however I want them to look, which most women tend to have higher arches on their eyebrows anyway. So I like to draw mine on and just have them in that perfect shape. And as you can see, I've already started right here, starting at the inner corner right here, and I've kind of angled it up right there. And that's how I just kind of get mine started. And I'm drawing that first initial line. I typically follow my natural brow line, or at least what's there after I've plucked everything. And I try to get it as even and matching as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to clean it up afterwards anyways. To make sure that the lines are pretty much the same. Okay. So once I've got it pretty much like that, I've got it started. And that's just using this right here. It's just a basic eyebrow pencil. It's actually the Maybelline Expert Wear medium brown pencil. Very standard eyebrow pencil that's been around from Maybelline for forever.
Okay, now you draw yours. Okay, now there are girls that we have ours, we get ours waxed and shaped and trimmed and everything. Now, okay, now do you recommend a good brow brush and then drawing it on with your brow pencil or brow makeup or something like that? What is
what some girls do sometimes that use their natural brow, you can just use like either these kinds, or those kinds, those really long ones that basically look like a mascara wand, and just brush them up to shape them, and then just use a regular, I would say something like kind of like this right here, like an angled brush like that to fill it in with a brow shade, something like that.
okay?
Okay. Now, once I've got the basic shape started, I basically determine how thick or full I want my eyebrows. As you can see, I've already drew a line on top of the other one, and that's kind of about the thickness that I'm going to do for that. And then once again, of course, make the other as much as possible, not really perfect. I'll clean it up.
Angel, could you face us so we can see what you're doing, honey?
Sorry, my mirror's right there.
Okay.
That's just how my mirror is set up. That's why I'm turning back and forth every time.
Okay, maybe you could turn your computer that way. I don't know.
I'd have to figure out somewhere to put it.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead and do your thing.
I have a bunch of brushes right there too.
Okay. You
Yeah.
girl, any of you guys, are you guys following along really good? Is everybody getting this? Okay.
Okay. So I've done that, and they're pretty. I feel like they're pretty similar and pretty close. Okay.
Now they could be twins, but they may not be identical twins, but as long as they're close.
Right. As long
Okay.
as it's close. Now, once I've got to that point right there started, okay, and then I'm just going to take the bottom line right here, and again, I'm going to follow my natural brow down. Bring that arch down. So you can see what I did there. So you can see how it kind of arches up and then comes down.
Mhm.
And then bring the top line. Again, I'm just going to bring that down and meet it up to a point. And I try to keep it a rounded curve. I don't want it to be too angular. And then that's my eyebrow. That is the basic shape of my eyebrow and how I do them. But you may want your eyebrows shaped differently.
Right.
You may want them not quite so arched. You may want them more arched. It's all in how you want your eyebrows to look and what shape you feel looks best on you. And they're close enough. Okay. So I've got both sides done. And then once I've got the basic shape there, then I just fill in everything else in between. So it's one solid brow. It doesn't have to be perfect. There it is. Okay. So once I've got my brows on, I basically move to just a basic stick concealer. And I have a concealer brush. This is a very flat, square concealer brush that I use right here. And this is what I use to clean up the shape of my brows. So I just basically just coat the end of the brush in the brow or in the concealer. And this is where I'm actually going to clean up and define the shape and make it perfect on there. And before I blend it in, I'll show you exactly, so you can really see where I put it and how I put it on. Okay, so if I
Alright.
come close, so you can see the color variation from right here to right there.
Got you.
I can really just kind of go in there with that concealer to perfect the shape really, really well.
There's Lynn.
Ooh, she got some curl in there too. Makes her hair look really wavy.
It does.
I like it. And then I just do the same thing to make the other eyebrow match again. And then once I'm comfortable, and I feel like the bottom side of the brows match, then I can just like blend it all in. Now just blend that down the brow, or down towards the crease. And sometimes I'll use my finger to kind of blend it as well.
Looks good.
Mhm.
Now you just drew yours on. Where
Right. And there are other methods to get your brows on as well. For people that want to have a really perfect brow shape, they do make brow stencils. And they make brow stamps as well. And for those work, personally, I like to draw them freehand. Some people just don't have a steady enough hand to do it with a freehand, so the stencils and the stamps work.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. Now once I've got that under part done, I'm also going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it to the top side of the brow to really continue to define that shape, to make sure that make sure your eyebrows are sisters, not cousins.
Right.
And as you can see,
Perfect.
you can see that definite line right there. And once you get that shape in there, this is blending it out. And you continue that onto the other side of the brow. And then of course, you'll also do the same thing just to define right here in between the two brows as well.
Now, while she's doing that, everybody, now I use my own eyebrow. I don't pluck mine off or and everything. And as you can see, I take the pencil or the brush and the brow brush, and I come out with almost the same result as Angel. I got that arch that I like. I got my eyebrows shaped the way I want to. And it's just a matter. And then I put something on top to keep my other makeup from going into my eyebrows, because I always start with my brows. I'm like Angel. I start with my brows first, and then I work my way around. Then I do the other stuff.
Right.
So that's, and as you can see, if you look at me and Angel's arch, it's pretty much the same. And I'm blind in one eye and can't see out the other. So I did okay. So
I think you might be blind in both eyes.
okay, I can't with you. But anyways.
Okay. So I pretty much got my brows the way that I want them. So I'm pretty much done with that brush. Because that brush pretty much, that specific brush that I use, I pretty much only use that when I'm defining my brows. Okay. Now, once I've got my brows on, I just go ahead and start putting on my foundation from this point on. And this one that I'm using right now is actually the Wet n Wild foundation, dewy, soft beige color.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'm not personally big on brand names. I'm not big on expensive makeup. I don't care what the brand is that you use. You know, sure, there are some brands out there that I think just have better pigmentation and do function better. But at the same time, there's some makeups out there that it really doesn't matter. You don't
Right.
have to necessarily go with brand names, everything.
Mm-mm.
You know?
Now I use Milani. I like the Milani, the 2-in-1. That's really good. I get a natural overtone with my foundation. And also I use that e.l.f. 16-hour camo camouflage, because let's face it, girls, some of us have the 5 o'clock shadow. I don't have it anymore, but I like that camouflage stuff because I could do it. I'll put it around my mustache area, and then the chin where I was really heavily gray bearded, if the words were, and then where my beard would grow. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, this is actually made by Wet n Wild.
Okay.
This is actually a nice little palette. because you've got several different colors right here, okay? So for those of you that have any kind of skin pigmentation issues going on, whether it's dark circles under your eyes, whether it is beard cover, you have red pigmentation, rosacea issues going on, there are ways to cover up and hide that before you actually do your foundation. And using that right there, I think NYX has a color correct palette. There's some companies that make individual concealer sticks in various different colors. And basically, you know, if you have rosacea, then any kind of green concealer type anything, you can put that over the red areas, and then do a loose powder over it, and then do your foundation. If you're having beard cover, red or beard actually pulls blue tones. So to counteract that, you would use orange. Depending on the color of your skin, something more like bright orange, or maybe something more kind of pinky orange like a salmon. But again, you would still just put that on over the beard area, blend it, powder it to set it, and then do foundation.
Now, for those of us that don't know what rosacea is, could you cover that, please?
That's just basically red hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
You know, or people that have acne scars, and it's all red and bumpy all over their skin.
Like your sister here, yeah.
Yes, I've got my foundation all over my skin, and I'm just using just a regular basic cosmetic sponge to just like pat all that in there. Don't smear it. Pat it into place. Whether you're using a sponge or a brush, pat it into place to get it where you want it, to get it smooth. Because if you're just brushing it all over your skin, you're gonna create lines, and it's gonna look uneven. So you want to make sure, whether you're putting your foundation on with a brush or a sponge, always pat, pat, pat. Do not brush it into place, because your foundation will come out a lot cleaner, smoother, and softer looking when you pat it.
You all could see what she's doing. She's actually blending as she's patting. She's actually getting a smooth, and it ain't clumpy. So you're not going to see it, you know, like dripping down your face, like when you put excess paint on a brush and you start painting, and you got that wall of paint dripping down. So that took me a while to learn how to pat, how to blend right, instead of just getting in a hurry and going.
Yeah.
Cover, damn it, cover.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get better coverage anyways if you pat it into place starting out anyway.
Right. And it's basically technique. If you girls feel better with just cotton, or if you feel better with an eggshell pad or a blender like that, or a brush, these brushes like by Maybelline, Elf makes a fantastic
All right, dogs are bugging me.
primer brush, and I really love it, or foundation brush, and I love it. It's effortless. In fact, I'll get it. I really love this brush. I hope you ladies are enjoying this tonight.
Yeah, so I put my foundation on already now, but I do have a flat brush that I'm gonna blend it in even further with.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of do a two-step blending process, just to blend it in with the sponge first, and then I'll pat it in with the brush to further blend it out, and also when I do it that way, it also takes away a lot of the shine too.
There you go, Lynn. That's a perfect foundation brush. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this is my foundation brush compared to yours. But they're all different, but I like this one. It's like Angel's. It's wide.
Yeah, I mean, this is
you
a
get-
wide, this is specifically a flat brush. This is better
Right.
for blending. Flat brushes are better for blending. Those ones that are shaped more like what Lynn has, kind of like this, those are more for like spreading.
So this is, so I've got a flat brush also. I love it. And like I said, you could actually find a nice set of brushes. $5, $10. You could get blenders. I like the e.l.f. because you get more bang for your buck. They last longer. They're cheap. I think I got a set of e.l.f. brushes for $7 or some ridiculous low price like that. So,
Yeah.
And I've got the foundation, I've got a primer brush, I got a powder brush, just a basic set. And a lot of these brush sets, which is very important, Angela, and I think you know this too, that a lot of them come and tell you, they got little inserts that tells you what each brush does. And it's good reading to know, okay, oh, so this one is going to be my foundation blush, or this one's going to be my primer brush, or this one's going to be my eyeliner brush. Now I've got a set of eye brushes just for eyeliner, brows and stuff, and shadow, because those are actually specific. Yeah, there you go, Lynn.
Yeah.
And hers has exactly what I was talking about. If you guys could see that,
Mhm.
it'll show you a picture of the brush, and it'll tell you exactly what the brush does for you and for the
Right.
application that you're using.
Exactly. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a cream contour, which I'm actually using right now. It's a Wet n Wild dual-ended cover stick. So there's a different color on both, as you can see here. There is a contour end, and then there's a highlight end. So it's a 2-in-1 product, is basically what it is.
I have that same thing. I love it.
Okay, but I'm going to start with the contour end, which is the darker shade. This is basically a brown type color. Okay, and that's what your contour is. It's dark colors. You want to go a few shades darker than your skin. You don't want to go too dark. You don't want your skin to be like a dark chocolate color. No. But like this color, look, it says medium tan. Okay. And basically, when I start my contour, I start with my cheeks first. Okay. The position and the shape of your cheek contour will vary from person to person, depending on the natural shape of your bone structure. Okay. Sometimes some people do it more kind of straight out. Some people do it more angled down. Some people do it more kind of check mark. Some people do it more curved. It just really varies. It's something you kind of have to play with depending on the shape of your actual bone structure at the current moment. Okay. For me, what I usually do, if you feel right here, right underneath your cheekbone, you will feel an indentation. Okay. That is a good place to start your contour. Okay. For me, the way that I shape mine, I angle them down to right about the right underneath the apple of the cheek, right there. Okay. So sorry, Jennifer, you can wait. We're doing the meeting.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can see what I did there. Now, I didn't bring it all the way down. I stopped. right before the cheek. Okay, you just want to angle it in that direction, but not go, you don't want to bring it all the way down here and connect it with your nose. No, that would be going a little bit overboard. Okay. Okay, so then I'm just going to do the same thing on this side here now. And you can see. Okay. The other places to contour, of course, are our foreheads. Because when we're contouring, it's very important to do this because it's going to change the shape of your face. Men's and women's faces are shaped completely different. Genetically speaking. And it's this contouring that's going to help to aid in resculpting and reshaping the face. Women have higher cheekbones, so this is going to help to kind of create a shadow over your natural cheekbone in a sense. Women's foreheads and men's foreheads are shaped differently. Men have a more pronounced forehead, a higher hairline. So you do your contouring around here as well to create that illusion of a more feminine hairline. And then, of course, the jawline. Men have usually a more square jawline. So you want to create the illusion that your jawline is rounded. Or in some cases, more ovular or heart-shaped instead of square.
More softer and feminine.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Alexandria.
So it's right on the jawline. It's like right on the jawline.
Yeah, so basically what I did on mine, you can see it there, I started right here at the bottom of my ear, and I just rounded out the jaw. And I usually stop pretty much, I can kind of do like that, and see how the cheek contour and the jaw contour stop at roughly about the same point. That's about where I'm contouring right there.
And what about the forehead? How high do you put it on the forehead?
Do temple to temple.
Okay.
Pretty much just a little bit below your hairline, because that'll give you that natural arch in your
right. And I'm gonna use a sponge and brush to blend all that out anyways. So like even on here, like you can see on mine, my hairline is actually still showing right there, but I'm gonna blend the contour up into the hairline anyways. Okay. Now I also contour my nose as well, but I like my nose to be a little bit more defined, and being that it's a smaller area that we're actually contouring on that, I prefer to use a brush for my nose contour. Okay, and I've got this very tiny little makeup brush. See how small that is. Okay, and that's what I actually use to contour my nose with. And I just basically just go ahead and coat the brush in the same color, same shade of brown. And basically the shape that you're going to be drawing on your nose is a curved V shape from the tip of the brow and bring it down to a point on the nose. And that's going to help to reshape your nose, because men's and women's noses are different in that women's noses proportionate to the size and the shape of your face, structurally speaking, are slimmer. You want to give the appearance that your nose is tiny. And some people maybe just don't like that they have a really long nose. So there's ways to contour it to make it look like your nose is shorter. If you have a really fat, wide, bulbous nose, you can contour it to make it look like it's slimmer. So there's all different ways that you can contour it, just depending on how you want your nose to look. Me personally, I always contour my nose the exact same way. My nose shape never changes. Now, I do know that because of the way that my nose is shaped, my nose does kind of, is a little crooked. It goes this way. So I have a way of when I contour this side of the nose versus this side of the nose, I do it a little bit differently, more predominantly right up in this area, right up at the top of the bridge. I'll make the shape a slightly different angle so that it gives the appearance that my nose is less out this way and more straight. And just figuring out, you know, if my nose goes out more this way, then I need to contour in more this way. So when I do this, I start with the bottom brush. I just go ahead and start that. And I don't do it like right on top of the nose, kind of side. And I bring it down and I angle it in until I get to right about here. Okay. So you can see how I angled it in right there, and I'm coming in towards the center of the nose. Now again, because I said that my nose is already kind of crooked, so I go ahead and bring that angle in a little bit more. So instead of starting from the bottom line, I may start from the top line up here and bring it in that way to give the appearance that my nose is straighter.
Anybody got any questions at this point? Okay. Now, it looks like it takes, Angel, on average, how long are you in front of the mirror?
It depends.
Everyday look.
If my everyday look, if I'm just getting ready for work, it takes me an hour at the most.
Okay.
But when I've actually done live videos and tutorials and stuff, I'm on for good, at least a couple hours.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So now you can kind of see how I've done the nose contour different on both sides, just to reshape my nose. Okay. And then I usually cut the tip of my nose off. The way that I usually do mine, I draw a little heart on the tip of my nose. Some people just draw a straight line. Some people do a little circle. I just like the shape of a little heart on the tip of my nose. I do that with the contour. So you can see a little heart there.
Yep.
Okay. And that's on my contour. Now I'm just going to take a separate sponge that I haven't used yet. And I'm going to go in here and start blending and buffing out all those contour areas. I'm just getting them in there. This whole patting motion in the drag community is what we call beating our mug. Kind of like you get a mug shot. Now you're going to beat it. Pat all of that contour in there. And I'll probably go in afterwards and blend it out a little bit more with a brush as well. Just to soften it, because you don't want it to be too harsh. You don't want the line to be too obvious or too apparent. And usually when I'm blending out the nose contour, I'll make sure that I'm very precise in how I hold the makeup sponge, because I want to line up the straight line edge of that with that nose contour, because I want to keep that a straight line. And I just basically blend that nose contour down the sides of the nose to keep that center part open. With that, shadow contour and dark highlighter. Light. Okay. Now I'm going to take the same thing, but I'm going to use the opposite end, the lighter color one. Okay. And I'm going to go under my eye. Okay. And this is actually a lighter color than my foundation too. And I'm just putting it in there for right now. I'm not worried about a specific shape right now. I'm just getting it in there. And I'll even put a little bit on the cupid bow right there. And draw a little half circle right in between the brows and center of the forehead. A little half circle right here on the chin. And then I'm going to underline where I put the contour earlier. I'm going to draw a straight line back up. I mean, so you can see that line right there where I did that. Okay. And then I have, again, for my nose highlight, I'm going to get a different concealer brush that I can be pretty precise with. And I'm going to go down the center of the nose, a straight line right there in between the two sides of the contour. Okay. So you can see what I did there. Okay, so I'm just
Right.
drawing right in between there. And then you just go back in, blend and buff out that color.
Looks nice.
And usually when I create that hard line between, on the cheeks at least, between the contour and the highlight, I usually personally, I tend to leave that somewhat noticeable and obvious on just on that one part. Just because it tends to, once all the other makeup is done,
Right.
that part really stands out and really gives you that fuller, higher cheekbone look. And then from there, foundation is done. Foundation is finished. And then I move on to my powder, which this one is a loose powder. You can buy it just about anywhere. Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, they all have it. This is the Airspun. This one is the translucent extra coverage one. This stuff is awesome. Blend out that hairline a little bit more. I just looked at it in the mirror. It just feels like that contrast just makes it a little bit more blended. There you go, that's better. And now I just take a big, huge, fluffy brush. And now I can go in here and just set everything. But of course, even when once you're setting everything, all of the creams and liquid foundations and everything else you just put on, some of it just becomes muted. The loose powder does help to tone down a lot of the really strong coloration. Yes, that's the one I want. Okay. A little powder on the boobs. Okay. Now, as you can see, my eyebrows kind of got muted a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to take a brush like this right here. This is the one that I always use for my eyebrows, just to bring some color back to my eyebrows.
Kind of touch them up.
I'm just going to use a brown eyeshadow or specific eyebrow shade, eyebrow filler. That. Make sure I hold the very tip, the longer part of the bristle. I hold that starting right here, and I don't go all the way over to the very edge. I leave a little part of it right here, dull and muted. So I'll
Right.
just start painting a little bit to fill in with this brown color. And just hold it at that angle to continue from here all the way to the tip. And holding that angle brush without changing the angle. It's kind of like how, if you've ever been in an art and craft school, they teach you how to hold and write with a calligraphy pen.
Yeah.
When you're doing your eyebrows, you kind of want to think about it in that same kind of way. In order to get that way of writing. So now when I come in close, you can see how here it's still really light, but then here it's darker. That's
Okay.
that's how I want my brows to look.
Right.
It tends to look a little bit more natural when if you're drawing them on, it tends to look a little bit more natural that way.
I got you.
And some people will even go in with like a really, really sharp eyebrow pencil, and even in that light area, they'll even draw in a few strokes of hair to make it look real.
Okay.
What was the tissues for?
That was my boot bra. That's my bra.
Oh, I thought that was maybe what you stuffed your bras with.
And no, I don't need no stuffing.
Now I've already done contour. Now sometimes I will do a powder contour as well. But for a daytime look, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna take a different little flat brush that I use here for blending. And this one I use specifically just for bronzer. I don't use this brush for anything else. A lot of my brushes have one specific purpose and one specific function that I use it for, whether it's for what it was originally designed for according to the package, or what I use it for, because I know brushes very well. So I just go ahead and just dip that little blending flat brush into my bronzer. And instead of starting at this end, I'm going to start down here at the actual cheekbone, and circular motions blend up.
Now, what's a bronzer?
Bronzer.
I know. What is it? What is its purpose?
Bronzer, it just gives you that sun-kissed look.
Okay, there we go.
You know, it kind of enhances the contour that we just previously did. Okay.
I knew what it was, but there might be somebody that don't know.
Yeah, and bronzers are usually tend to be more it's a sparkly, glittery brown as opposed to just flat brown. Flat
I
brown
got
is just used for contouring.
Right.
Dark brown is more that sun-kissed bronzer look.
Got you.
Pretty much still do it in the same areas. And I'll even pinch the flat brush just so I can get the side of the nose over here. Okay.
Okay.
And then once I've done that, then I'm just going to do some blush. And I'm not doing too dark because right now we're starting off with the day look. So we want it to just be simple. We just want it to be subtle.
Right.
And sometimes I'll go back in and just blend it out and soften it out with the bronzer brush. Okay. So that's pretty much a simple look, but we're going to work, so we want to have our eyes done too.
Right.
Eyes are the window of the soul. So if you're going somewhere important or special, like for work, you want your eyes to pop. Okay.
I was just going to say that I constantly work on my different shadows and blending, and yes.
Yes. Now, I'm going to go right back into my loose powder again. Again, my air spun. And I'm going to use this brush right here. It doesn't matter really what kind of brush you use, as long as it's a brush that can grab the loose powder. Okay. This is a nice little tip or trick for those of you that like to go really big and bold with your eyeshadows, but you don't want it falling down and giving you raccoon eyes. Okay. So you literally just go ahead and dip your brush in there and pack it. And I mean pack it under your eyes. And you can even go up the side of your nose, like so. And pretty much fill in that under eye area. Do that on both sides of the face. And I'm kind of curving up, as you can see, towards the temple. This is what we call baking.
What was that?
This is what we call baking.
Okay.
It serves a dual purpose, actually. Aside from just catching all the loose eyeshadow fallout, it does serve another purpose, which is baking. Whenever you're doing a highlight color, that's like we did the cream that's lighter than the foundation, this loose powder will help to really bring that out as well. You can use it as just loose fallout for your eyeshadow, or you can literally bake, and you can even, the area that you did a light color foundation,
Right.
literally put it in the same places. And each of these different areas, it takes a few minutes extra of time. It does. But it's worth it in the end.
I was going to say the
It
results
really helps to create the illusion that we're all striving for. Okay. So I put all the powder in. You can see all the areas where I put the loose powder, and I'm just going to leave it there. It's just going to sit there for now, at least while I'm doing the eyeshadow. Once the eyeshadow look that I'm doing is done, then fine, I'll brush all the loose powder off. That'll give it time to bake and time to catch all the loose eyeshadow fallout. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a simple day look right now. And I've got a palette here, and I'm gonna use a lot of these neutral shades that are right up here at the top, these pinky, beigey, tan, and into the brown and orange color right here. Okay. Those are the colors that I'm gonna do for my eyeshadow day look. Okay. So the first thing, I'm gonna use quite a few different eyeshadow brushes actually. Each color that I use, I'm only using that color for. When I switch to another color, I'm going to switch to another brush as well. Okay. So the first color that I'm actually going to use is kind of basically like a peach skin tone kind of color. And I'm just going to fill in the entire eyelid with that one color. From corner to corner, all the way up into the crease and down to the lash line. Okay. So I've filled in that color. The color that I can use, I'll show it to you real quick here. In this palette was this one right here. Almost kind of like a skin tone kind of color.
Right.
Okay.
I love that color. I do.
Now I'm gonna change to a different eyeshadow brush. Like I said, I would. No, not that one. I've got so many brushes now, I never know which one I want to use. And that'll work. Okay. Now the next one that I'm going to use is actually going to be this one right here. Kind of a coppery, rusty tan. And this one though, I'm only going to do it from the outside corner, and I'm going to go about halfway up and only in the crease. Okay. And usually I'll even continue it up a little bit because you have that orbital bone that's right there too. So I'll continue up just a fraction onto the bone itself. And this is essentially what we did for contouring the rest of the face. We're contouring it for the eye using eyeshadows instead. And I can even do the same thing, but very carefully from the corner of the eye, I'm going to do it just lightly under the lower lash line. Again, only going from the corner of the eye about halfway in. Okay, so then when I come in to the screen here, okay, touch up this file. A little bit more of this eyeshadow. There we go, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to have the color that I want in that palette, but another palette that I have. Okay. Now I'm going to take a smaller, tiny little eyeshadow brush. See how small those bristles are right up there up top.
I've seen them. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I have a different palette here that I'm going to actually use because this is the color that I want. This deep dark brown. Okay. And that one, still, I'm gonna be working on that outside corner of the eye. But I'm not gonna go in all the way. I'm only gonna go in a quarter of the way from the outside corner, quarter of the way in. And I almost kind of like make a little tiny little, you can see kind of like a little tiny Z right here. And I'll even fill that in a little bit. And then I'll fill in just a little tiny section of the lower lash as well. Okay. So you can see the different color variation. You have a light, you have a medium color right here in the crease, and a dark color on the outside corner. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing with that dark color again, but on the other side. And then I just go in, usually after that, I'll just get a big, huge, fluffy eyeshadow brush and blend. Soften it, especially the medium eyeshadow color that's within the crease onto the orbital bone. Really soften that. Okay. So then that's the day look eyeshadow. And then I can take all the brush, just take another brush, and brush away all that loose powder. Now, and depending on the type of eyeshadow that you do, you don't have to worry about any loose fallout because now you've trapped it in the loose powder and then you brushed it all away.
Right. You're using more of that translucent powder.
Mhm. So it's gone now. And then from that point, the makeup's pretty much done. It's just a matter of doing eyeliner, whether you do liquid eyeliner, you do a pencil eyeliner, or if you want, you can get like a really thin eyeshadow eyeliner brush and even do a powder smudged eyeliner look and then your mascara.
Now, even though you were taking your time explaining anything.
Any questions so far?
Yes, anybody got any questions? Please speak up.
Anything that you may have missed or need to be refreshed on, maybe something you didn't quite understand.
It's crickets. Well, I was gonna say, we started a little bit after almost 7:30. It's not, so you went an hour.
Yeah, because it's about 7:35 here, so it's about 8:35 there.
Right. So now you all seen how easily Angel did that, and that's pretty much I do exactly the same
and
thing.
I really haven't finished because I haven't put on eyeliner. I haven't
I'm sorry.
put on mascara, and I haven't done lips. And I specifically planned it that way.
Okay.
Because we all know how to do eyeliner. We all know how to do mascara. Those are simple. those are pretty much the same, whether you're doing daytime or nighttime makeup. Your eyeliner and mascara don't change.
And
That's
your
why I
lips.
typically haven't put it on yet. Because I was going to transition into the night look before actually doing that part of the makeup. Just because it doesn't change.
Got you. Anybody got any questions? Please speak up now. Unmute yourselves. Go ahead and shoot away.
I see Lynn's lips moving, but I don't hear her voice.
She said her mic isn't working.
Okay.
Well, type it in, honey.
I have a long, thin face, so how can I give the illusion of a rounder face? Yes, so that's where the contouring is going to come into play. Okay, so to give the illusion of a rounder face instead of a longer face, that, like I said, it's where you contour and how you contour. I mean, I have a long face as well, but then my jaw and my chin are a little bit more pronounced, and my forehead is a little bit more pronounced. So it's all in doing, you want to do more like an, kind of like think of it as a heart shape. I think a heart shaped face would look really well on you. You could almost kind of like do like kind of a heart shape kind of contour on your forehead. And then of course you blend it and soften it because you don't want it to be too obvious and too noticeable. And then with your chin, because I can see how your chin, like your jawline is really good, but your chin does come down. So whereas I stopped right here with my contour, you could even go around your chin some and cut off the bottom part of your chin where it's the part of your chin where it's really long. Bring that contour up onto like if you feel like right here where the actual bone is, right on top of that bone. And that'll kind of shape your face and give you that rounder appearance, as opposed to just stopping right here, like I did. So that's how you can do that. It's all in the contour and highlight. Whether you do the cream contour like I did, I also have a powder contour palette. This is made by Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette. It looks like this right here. And when you open it up, it's just a duo shade. There is the brown color here, which the brown color is called, well, I mean, this specific contour palette from Wet n Wild is called Dulce de Leche. But they have a few different shades, but it comes with basically a brown shade and then a yellow shade. The brown shade is your contour, and then the yellow shade is the highlight color. And it would be the same thing if you skipped the cream contour part and just did your eyebrows and your foundation, and then did your powder setting. Then you can go in afterwards with that, which I do a lot of times just that way. Sometimes if I'm going out on the town at night, I'll do the cream contour, set everything, and then go in and really define it with the powder contour. And you can do it the same way, even just for a daytime look. It's just for the daytime look, it's very, very, very important to blend and soften it. Not as, you still want to do that for a nighttime look, but it's even more important during the day to blend and soften everything.
Right.
Does that make sense, Lynn? Good.
Anybody else? Okay, Angel, go ahead and move on.
Okay. So moving on to a nighttime look. Really simple, really easy. Okay.
Huh.
So I just did a really simple, neutral, soft blush before. Okay, which here, I'll show you. The one that I used was that I bought from Miss A. It's the AOA Perfect blush that they have in their line. The one that I did for the daytime look is called, it's in the color 270 Looker. which was it? If I don't drop it. Which looks like this.
Oh, okay.
It's a soft neutral pink. Okay. But the color for the nighttime look I'm going to switch to is a bolder pink. This one is 268 Frenzy. You can see, we'll show them side by side so you can see the color difference really with them. So this was the daytime look, and then this was the nighttime look. That's a little bit bolder.
Right, I can see the difference.
So I'm just gonna pop that bolder color on my cheek now. So that when I go out to the club, I want my cheekbones to pop. And then I'm gonna go back in. I'm just gonna go ahead and get my loose powder back out in that same brush that I did the baking with. But I'm only gonna put it under my eyes this time just to catch the loose ball out. Because now I'm gonna play with my eyes some. And I'm gonna keep it in the same kind of color family, but I'm gonna use darker, bolder color.
Good night, that one girl. It'll be on, it'll be on in a couple of days.
Good, I'm glad I could help. And if you ever have any more questions about makeup, do not be afraid to hit me up on Facebook. In fact, I've got several videos in my video album on Facebook, so you can always dig through some old videos and see some different makeup and stuff if you want to. Okay. So like that, I'm going to keep the eyeshadow that I've already done moving into the nighttime in the same color family, those tans, orange, brown colors. But using this palette instead, I have some of those similar colors, but they're darker, bolder, have a lot more color pigmentation in them. Okay. So I'm actually going to keep the eyelid color the same for the moment. Okay. But for that crease color, I'm actually going to go with this right here, which is kind of a deep orange. Well, it's still a deep orange. Almost like a true orange. And we can go in with a different eyeshadow brush that I haven't used, but in that same general area. Right there in the crease onto the orbital bone. From the corner of the eye, about the middle, and then bring it down into the lower lid. Okay. Now you can see how much more bold
Right.
it is. Okay. And then again, I'm going to switch up my brushes again to a different brush. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is this one right here, which is a little bit more kind of brick orange, a little deeper and darker. So you can see the difference between this one and this one. That's the one I'm
Right.
going to do right there. That's going to go on that outer part. I'm just working into that, just the outside corner. I'm just making it right into that brown that's already there. I'm going to close that palette back up. So I'm going to switch back to that other palette that I used before, because now I'm going to do the actual eyelid color, which the color that I want is actually that white color right there.
Oh, okay, I
Okay,
got it.
and that's what I'm going to do on. But now I'm going to do on the just the inside corner, right up here by the tear duct. I'm
Okay,
gonna sweep it kind of up towards the middle. But leaving the actual center, I'm going to leave the center part, that kind of peachy color. I'm only putting the white on the inside tear duct.
oh, okay,
Okay.
oh, there you go, okay, yeah.
Okay. And I can even do it as a brow highlight. So where I did the brow earlier, I shaped it and everything else. So I've got this orange burnt sienna color right there. I can even do from halfway right here and sweep it down. So it's under the brow, but above the color, with that same white shade that I just used for my tear duct. Get that down. And then blend.
Got it.
And then again, brush away the loose powder. No fallout. No raccoon eyes. Okay. Now, a little bit of tips on eyeliner, because eyeliner can be, okay, depending on the type of eyes that you have. Me personally, I have normal, regular eyes. I have plenty of wide open eye space up here. I personally, I just use regular old liquid eyeliner, but that doesn't work for everybody. Depending on the shape of your eyes, depending on how angled out they are, how much lid space that you have. If you have hooded eyes or regular eyes or whatnot, it's really going to make a difference on what type of eyeliner is best for you and how to actually apply it. Okay. For me, if you have plenty of eyelid space, yeah, go ahead, and you've got a steady hand, go ahead and use a regular liquid eyeliner. But for those of you that have hooded eyes, where you don't have a lot of eyelid space and the upper part up here overlaps your actual lid. You know, right now trending, everybody wants to do the cat eye. And cat eyes actually, I think, work very well for pretty much anyone. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, your skin type, or what. It really accentuates the shape of your face and really brings out your eyes and just makes them pop.
Right.
But for those of you that have hooded eyes, you can't do it on the top.
Nope.
You just can't, because the part up here will overlap and cover it. If you're using a liquid eyeliner, it's going to smudge and smear. So instead, start on the lower lid, right under the lower lash line, and angle it up until you get that the nice little wing that you want. Whether you like a thick wing or a thin wing, whether you like it really long or short. If you have hooded eyes, start your eyeliner from the lower lash line.
Yep.
I have plenty of eyelid space, so I can do it no problem on the upper lid. And the upper lid is the most common place, but hooded eyes definitely start down here, not up here. And just figure out what works for you. If you have very small eyes, there's ways around that. Do like if you feel like you have really tiny eyes and people can't really see the color or the pupil, you can do a little trick of the eye. Your waterline, the lower one,
Right.
white eyeliner first. And then underneath the white eyeliner, do your black. That gives the appearance or illusion of a bigger eye.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a trend back in like the hippie days to have that white eyeliner. But it actually does serve a function as well to give you the appearance of a bigger eye instead of having these tiny squinty eyes. Yeah. So I've got my liquid eyeliner, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on one eye at a time so you can see exactly how I'm doing mine.
Okay.
Usually I'll make sure that I have just a fine amount on the tip of the eyeliner, little applicator. And what I usually do, because I want it to get a nice, straight, even, fine line, is I'll grab the outside corner and I stretch and pull it out. And then that's when I look in my mirror, and I have this mirror right here, it's like those magnified. And I'll start around the end. Okay, so you can see how I've done just that. You can still see all the light colored eyeshadow
Right.
above. But also kind of the way that I shaped it and pulled out and up as well, it kind of gave me a shape to my eye. You can see how kind of like this eye looks like, wow. And then this eye is like,
Yeah. Yeah. Chinese eye.
yeah, it's like, hello. How are you?
I can't with you.
Around that to fix that without having to start completely over. But it sucks when you fuck up.
Yes, it does.
So a little tip for that, let it dry and set up a little bit. And then go in, if you have a separate clean concealer brush,
Okay.
and cream concealer. you can correct the eyeliner if it's liquid.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're not completely screwed if you fuck up.
Right.
You can using that like a good clean, very stiff bristle concealer brush, you can correct liquid eyeliner using that. So don't be scared of the liquid eyeliner because of that.
Got you.
It's not the end of the world.
Right.
Okay. So now you can see that I pretty much my eyes are different shapes. Just like my nose is kind of funky, my eyes are kind of different shape too.
Got
So
you.
I don't always necessarily worry too much about my eyeliner on both sides matching exactly, because I have to adjust a little bit here and there depending on the shape of my face. And that'll be the same thing for everyone else. You know, if you have a wonky face where one side of the face is shaped one way and the other side is shaped the other way, and you want it to look symmetrical, no problem. Play with it to figure out, do I need this eye to be, the eyeliner to be thicker and this one to be thinner, so that it looks and appears symmetrical? Then that's what you do. And that's what I have to do because my face is funky. It doesn't look that way. It's not quite as noticeable, but I notice it.
Right.
Thanks, Mom. I get that from you.
And there's no right or wrong way to put on your makeup. You don't have to start on your brows. You don't have to start wherever you feel comfortable starting.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people that I've seen that are professional makeup artists, they actually do start before even doing their foundation. They'll do like some foundation on their eyes, do an eye base, and then they'll do their eyeshadow and eyeliner and everything.
Right.
Just because of all the fallout potential from eyeshadow and having raccoon eyes, they'll do their eyeshadow first.
Yep.
And then afterward, then they'll do the foundation, contouring, highlighting, powder, bronzer, blush, you name it.
And if you've never, ever, ever put on makeup, and this is going to be your first time, I would not recommend going out and spend on quality makeup.
Don't buy some cheap makeup. In
Dollar
fact,
Tree.
I've used cheap makeup for years. I don't care what brand name you buy. I don't care how much you spend on the makeup. It's about knowing what makeup you have.
Exactly.
And knowing how to use it.
Your skin tone.
There are some makeups that quality-wise are cheap. And there's some makeup out there that are good quality. And then there's some makeups out there that really, it don't matter. You can have makeup that costs you $2 and it'd be very good quality. And you can have makeup that costs you $100 and be very good quality. It's just paying attention to what you're buying.
Exactly.
You know, as long as it works, as long as you tested it and it works and it does what you need it to do, that's all that matters. Okay? So now I've done the eyeliner part. Now the next thing after that I usually do is I do my little wing, my little cat eye. Again, I make sure I get the applicator, the tip very precise. And I start on the like inside tight corner angle. Okay, so you can see what I did there. Okay. And you
Okay.
can see right here how it doesn't quite connect with that part that I did up here. You can see how there's a very faint gap right there between this angle and the line that I did over my upper lash line. Okay. So now I'm just going to draw a very precise triangle from the tip up here, and I'm going to meet it with the upper lash line. do want that to be a very sharp, exact line.
Okay, now Lady Alexandra has just made a comment, Angel, if you might want to address it. She's always having trouble with her eyeliner and wings. Any advice for her?
Okay. So you can see kind of like how to kind of explain it and kind of now. I'm going to come in real close and kind of see up close and see exactly how I shape that. Okay. Now it's in getting that perfect shape. Honestly, honey, it's not easy. It takes practice. It takes patience. It takes a steady hand, and it takes a good eye. You have to like make sure that you have those zoom in mirrors so that you can really see up close and really get up there in your face to really see all of that right there. So you can see, like, when I come up close, you can see how this wing looks right here as opposed to no wing. You really, it's good to have those mirrors that you can zoom in on to really be able to see that. And like, even when I sit back like here, you can see this side of the face versus this side of the face. It looks different. Okay.
Try using an eyeliner pencil because it'll make it a little bit easier, and then you don't have to worry about getting your eyes all smudgy because an eyeliner pencil is very
Yeah.
forgivable
And
it's
again,
easy.
this goes back to that previous tip that I made about how to correct really
Exactly.
when you make a mistake. You want those type of concealer brushes that have those really stiff bristles, and dip it into your cream concealer. So if you it's like, oh, I got it almost perfect. Oh, but damn, I got it crooked. Okay, no problem. Get your really stiff bristled concealer brush and straighten that line out, and then blend and feather that concealer out so that you can't see it. And then get like a really small, like something like that, almost like that could be used as an eyeshadow brush, and put some powder right into that concealer to pack it in there and reset that cream concealer that you just put over all of that stuff. Then it resets it, so then that doesn't smudge. Okay, Tina, have a good evening.
Okay, Tina, good night, honey.
Otherwise, yeah, practice with a pencil eyeliner at first, and sharpen it to where it's really sharp and can get to that fine point so that you can really get a precise line. Practice with a pencil before you upgrade to a liquid. And I know sometimes eye pencils don't really last as long. They smudge and smear and wear off a lot quicker than a liquid does. So a tip for that, if you're able to get the exact kind of eyeliner that you want with a pencil, before you get confident enough with a liquid to make that pencil liner last longer, put it on there really good, exactly how you want it, and then get a really sharp, precise, angled eyeliner brush and smudge that pencil in there with a powder. That will make the pencil liner last longer throughout the day than just by itself.
Did that help you out, honey? Okay. We got an affirmative.
I'm just gonna go ahead and
Can you hear me yet?
There you go.
yeah, loud and clear, honey.
Okay. I do my wings from down here because I was trying it the way that they said, with like you take it like a scotch tape and you draw the line.
Right,
I
yeah.
couldn't do that. So I did from like what you were saying, take the pencil from the middle of the eye and go this way.
Well,
So that would be my first line, and then I
Well-
would draw, then I would go towards this way to get a thicker.
well, when you're like from the middle of the eye, I only do the eyeshadow, middle of the eye. But the wing itself, like when you're trying to do this look
Yeah,
as opposed to without, I would not start at the middle of the eye with the eyeliner. I would start literally right at the corner.
well, that's what I did for the wing, but as far as like the eyeliner, I would go,
Okay.
just to start with, I
Yeah,
would do
so
it
for
this
the
way and
eyeliner,
then do the thing.
for your eye, I would actually like basically do this, put your finger right here, pull down to where you can actually see the actual water line.
Oh, is that how you put that on?
Yeah. Yeah, don't do it under the eyelash
Yeah,
because I mean, for under the eyelash, that's a good nighttime look, yes. But if you're doing it for like daytime wear, pull your eyelid down and line the water line for daytime. And then you can do under the lash for nighttime. And when you're doing because like, I line from corner to corner on the top. But for hooded eyes, do corner to corner waterline.
I wondered how you got it on the water line without poking your eyeball. So you just pull it down then?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And then that way, because if you do, like, if you were to do under the lash during the day, you're going to have raccoon eyes no matter what.
yeah, it starts to
Thanks.
smear after a while, especially when you have an older pencil. But to get the wing, to get the angle, I was going from underneath here and going up that way.
Yeah.
And then just work with the
Yeah, I
corner.
mean, yeah, like they pull your eye down, do the water line. Once you get the water line in, then just start right there at the very outside corner and get the angle that you want. So I mean, even though I did the top lid, but I'm still gonna start for the wing right there.
My wings were always different. I'd have one that looked like really pretty, and then this one over here like disappear somewhere.
Yeah, it takes practice, but so like right there, I've gotten it started.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but obviously it doesn't look anything like that one. So that's just starting it. But then I've still got to define it, and I've got to the outer point right here. I've got to connect it to the eyeliner. And depending on if you're doing upper or lower eyeliner, since I did upper, I'm gonna come up here and bring it down to meet that. If you're doing lower, a lower lid for people with hooded eyes, and you did your eyeliner down here instead, you might want to angle your wing up a little bit higher so that when you connect it down to the lower lid, it kind of gives that appearance,
Right.
Some people, maybe you want your wings just straight out. Maybe you want them angled to give you that lift.
Mine look better it's straight out because it's like I draw it straight out, but then after I let go of the eye and that it does the little. It does the little smiley.
Everybody good so far? Okay.
I assume so. Okay. So I've done that part there, but if I come in real close, you can see that I've only just kind of drawn the outline of it.
Right.
So I'm just trying to basically getting the shape that I want. and kind of, if I were to back up a little bit, just to, if I look at my eyes in the mirror, do they look and appear the same shape?
Right.
And when I look at it, I can see like this one's like perfectly round, but then this one I can see like a straight line. So that's when I'm looking at it and comparing it in the mirror. Because
Which it don't look that obvious.
I know that my face is funky. I can see it in the mirror. So I look at those things and I sometimes overanalyze my face.
Right. Oh, you know, none of us are guilty of that, right? You know that, right?
I would just take that fraction of adjustment.
Exactly.
To make the eyes look the same. So I've adjusted the part where I thought I saw the straight line. Just by a fraction. And now when I look at it, they both look curved and rounded. So once I've done that, then I can just go ahead and fill in that wing to make it match the other side.
You're right.
So there's the one that I did a double cat eye, if I can get close enough to the screen.
Okay, yeah.
I did 2 lines. It's like, twink.
And that's something fun to get at for sure. Okay. And then from that point, I fill it in, my eyes are done. And then it's just a matter of how you want to, I usually, no matter what, I always do lips last. Lips are always last for me, no matter what, just because it's so easy for you to be doing all of your makeup and to do your lips first. And then all of a sudden your hair falls in your face and messes it up. And then you have this streak of lipstick that goes up this way.
Yeah.
That's why I always do lips last. And lips, straight up. Some people just like to do a simple matte lip. And that's fine. Some people like to do a really glossy lip. Some people, a lot of times when I'm going to work, I don't put on nothing. My lips are clean and I just put on clear basic chapstick. I play up everything else and do a clear chapstick. Every once in a while, yeah, I might do like a nude or beige brown lipstick. And especially if I'm going out at night. If I'm going out at night, then yes, I'm putting on lips. And I like to play up my lips too. Just like I play up my eyes, I play up my lips. And my lips are never just one color. They're not. The same exact way that I've done my eyes with the multiple different shades.
Yeah.
Same thing for the lips. I'll do
Okay.
like kind of like a medium to dark brown liner. And then the outer edges of the lip, maybe do like a medium brown, and then do a light brown on the center. Kind of right there in the pout.
That's not necessarily true because you could actually put a setting powder on your lips and the mask will not take your lipstick off. Or if you've got a good matte lipstick, it won't take it off.
If you have a good matte lipstick, great. But sometimes it does happen where you found the perfect color in that glossy color. And yes, you go out partying with that glossy lipstick, it's gonna come off when you have a drink. You go out somewhere in public where you've got to wear your mask, yes. Those glossy lipsticks are gonna come off. But if you found the perfect color in a glossy lip and you really want to be matte,
Yep.
tap that glossy lipstick down to a matte and it'll stick. You can also do the same thing with to really layer your lipstick. Just go ahead and fill in your entire lip. Give yourself a heart-shaped Cupid bow and perfect round pout. And fill it all in with a lip liner pencil. Then do your lipstick. And then put a little powder on there to make it matte. That lipstick will last all night.
Yep.
It will not budge.
Yep.
That's the way around that. But yeah, but I do,
Sure
just like I do
will.
my eyeshadow, I do my lips in a color variation that way too, because it gives the appearance of a fuller lip, that sexy pout, without actually having to have one. Give you the appearance of one.
There you go.
And you can play it up. You know, make your eyes, if you're going out at night, make your eyeshadow match your outfit. You're wearing bright, bold, flashy, flamboyant colors. Make your eyeshadow look like it too. Make similar colors.
You want to pop. You want to pop with your clothes. You want to
Yeah.
pop. You want to look good. You want your
If
face.
your
So
clothes are gonna pop, your eyes need to pop too. Like I said before, when eyes are the window to the soul.
yeah. And plus you want to look good for your man. So, you know, or your woman,
That too.
whichever your case may be.
Yeah. So, I mean, just with my makeup alone, I haven't put on mascara. But I can let my hair down now. Because I typically always pull my hair back really tight and get it out of my face because I don't want it in my way when I'm doing my makeup. But I can easily let my hair down now.
Yeah, I usually put my hair in a ponytail too.
Give it a little tussle.
Ponytail, I use hair clips. So there's my face is completely open and I'm not going to get makeup or something in my hair.
Right.
You know, I just don't want to.
And then once I let my hair down now, of course my hair's wanting to be frizzy right now. Kind of annoying, but that's okay.
Your hair will never go like mine.
But see, but now that I've let my hair down and show it with all the rest of my makeup, there we go. It kind of shapes and frames my face now,
And everything looks beautiful.
and everything looks good. Okay. And of course, once your makeup is done, depending on where you're going, daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. Okay. Set your makeup once it's all finished from head to toe. Use a setting spray. This right here, this is actually a homemade setting spray that I made myself. This is actually a concoction of vegetable glycerin, which you can buy over the counter, just about anywhere, water, and essential oils. Now, vegetable glycerin, keep in mind, is kind of thick and kind of heavy, so a little bit goes a long way. So you don't want to spray it on real heavy, and then your face is like really shiny. Or you don't want to spray it on so much that it's heavy and your makeup starts to go.
Right.
So if you're going to make your own homemade as opposed to buying store-bought one, vegetable glycerin, it makes a very good setting spray, but a little bit goes a long way. And this concoction, I think, is about 1/3 vegetable glycerin to 2/3 water.
I think Elf setting spray is a couple bucks. So you're really not good. Like I said, you don't like me and Angel have said, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on makeup or whatever. You could get the same effect out of a $1 makeup as you can a $50 makeup. So
Exactly. And then once you set your makeup, you're all good. And everything's pretty. There's even ways makeup can do so many things aside from just right here. For people, you can even, for transgender people, or not really just transgender people, anybody. Small boobs syndrome. And if you know how to pad your bras, or you wear a lot of those pre-padded ones from the lingerie store that have extra padding in them and have like silicone balls and stuff in there, but you like, okay, I stuffed in my bra, but it doesn't look believable. There's ways that you can actually use makeup right in here. You can do contouring and highlighting right here from the bottom of from right there's the sternum up over the breastbone in a curved V shape, and then you of course blend it and soften it and smooth it so it's not obvious, but to kind of make it basically, I didn't put any on there, but it's basically going from looking like this to looking like this.
Right.
You can use makeup to make your bust and your cleavage really pop. And like if I were to push them up like that, you can see how there's that shadow right here that just naturally forms when I push the boobs up. You can use that same line right there to create a contour or shadow using makeup. That gives you the appearance and illusion of having more bust than you actually do. But sometimes that can be something that bothers people about their bodies. And if you want to go out in public and you want to be rocking the frickin' town, you want to be turning people's heads, there's ways to do it. Always. Where there is a will, there is a way.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody got any questions for Angel? I think she's about wrapped it up. Anybody got any questions? Okay. Well, Angel, thank you for doing that very good presentation. For those of you that this will be on YouTube, and then we're going to put it in the in both the coalition and the Trans Talk After Dark. So if you miss something or any of the other girls miss anything, so I'm going to open up the floor. I'm going to turn off the recording. You girls that got your faces off, you can come back on if you want.